In 1963, a 22-year-old Pete Rose made his Major League debut for his hometown Cincinnati Reds. Over the next 24 years, he would amass 15,890 at-bats, almost 2,000 more than anyone else in Major League history. He would also collect more hits than anyone else in history. On September 11, 1985, Rose became the all-time hit king, passing the great Ty Cobb with hit number 4,192. Except that he didn't. Years later, baseball nerds like myself found out that the record keepers accidentally double-counted a two-hit game from Cobb in 1910, meaning that the actual hit record was 4,189, which Rose actually surpassed a few days prior. Rose finished his career in 1986 with 4,256 hits. To put that number into perspective, Pete Rose has 872 more hits than Albert Pujols. Even in his prime, Pujols would have to have played 4 or 5 more seasons to break the record, and 791 more hits than Derek Jeter, about 4 more prime years for Jeter as well. When you see how many more hits Rose has than these all-time greats, it's no mystery why the record still stands. And 6 years after Rose retired, an 18-year-old Ichiro Suzuki made his debut in the Nippon Professional Baseball League of Japan. Ichiro played 9 seasons in Japan, collecting 1,278 hits. And then he went on to play a mere 19 more seasons in Major League Baseball, collecting 3,089 more hits, bringing his professional total to 4,367, or 111 more hits than Pete Rose. First, let's look at a quick comparison of these two players' stats at the Major League level, excluding Ichiro's 9 seasons in Japan. Pete Rose is the all-time hits record holder, while Ichiro is the single-season hits record holder. Rose batted .303 with a 118 OPS plus over 24 seasons. Ichiro batted .311 with a 107 OPS plus over 19 seasons. Both players led their league in hits 7 times. Rose won 3 batting titles, Ichiro won 2 batting titles, and both players won an MVP award. As you can see, the two have a lot of similarities. Although Rose hit for a bit more power, and Ichiro stole more bases. And even though Ichiro collected 111 more hits than Rose over the entirety of his professional career, most still consider Rose to be the true hit king, as he did it all at the Major League level. And there's no way to figure out how many hits Ichiro would have gotten if he had played his entire career in the majors. Or is there? Let's start with the most common starting point in this discussion of Ichiro versus Rose. Many will say, sure, Ichiro had more professional hits, but he hit .353 in Japan over 9 seasons. He would not have hit .353 in Major League Baseball over that span, so he wouldn't have collected as many hits. I would say this argument is both right and wrong. Yes, I would agree that Ichiro would probably not have hit .353 from ages 18 to 26 in the majors. Many agree that the competitive level of Nippon Professional Baseball in Japan is somewhere between AAA and MLB. So it's fair to guess Ichiro would not hit for quite as high of an average in the majors. Now, Ichiro did hit .350 4 different times in the majors, so it's not entirely out of the question, but I would agree that .353 over 9 seasons is a bit of a stretch. But the big thing that this argument is missing is the estimated number of games played. In Nippon Baseball, they only played 130 games per year from 1992 to 1996, and only 135 games per year from 97 to 2000. So although Ichiro's batting average in the majors might have gone down, his number of games played would have drastically gone up. So let's crunch some numbers to figure out a realistic picture of what Ichiro's hit total could have looked like in an alternate universe where he played his entire career in Major League Baseball. To be fair to Pete Rose, we will not include Ichiro's age 18 and 19 seasons. Since MLB is a bit more competitive than the NPB, let's just assume Ichiro would not have been called up so quickly. Now, Ichiro only collected a total of 36 hits in his age 18 and 19 seasons, so this doesn't make a huge difference, but it does seem fair to make this adjustment. And we will only give Ichiro 77% of possible games played in 1999 and 2000, since that's what he played in Japan. But to be fair to Ichiro, from 1994 to 2000, we will add his estimated number of at-bats due to MLB's 162-game schedule. This gives him an extra 181 games. He averaged 3.8 at-bats per game while in Japan, so at 3.8 at-bats per game, this gives us an extra 687 at-bats. So if Ichiro started his major league career at age 20 and played the same percentage of games as he did in Japan, how many hits would he have collected? Let's look at 3 possible scenarios, where from 94 to 2000, Ichiro put up a 353 batting average, a 325 batting average, and a 300 batting average. Under these conditions, if Ichiro bats 353, which is exactly what he hit in Japan, he collects an extra 129 hits, bringing his total to 4,496. If he bats 325, he collects an extra 17 hits, bringing his total to 4,384. And if he bats 300, he loses 72 hits, bringing his total to 4,285. Now, a reminder that Pete Rose's total is 4,256. So in all of these scenarios, Ichiro breaks Pete Rose's record and now reigns as the true hit king. Personally, I think the most realistic of these 3 scenarios is where Ichiro hits 325. In Ichiro's first 10 seasons in the majors from ages 27 to 36, he hit 331. And from ages 27 to 30, he hit 340. So it's entirely realistic and actually maybe a bit conservative to give him a 325 average in his early years. So in what I would say is the most likely alternate universe, Ichiro retires at age 45 with 4,384 hits, or 127 more than Pete Rose. But that's not how it played out in our universe. Ichiro is the unofficial global hit king, and Pete Rose is still the official Major League hit king.